Friends all say Vincent loves me to death, but when my dear sister returned, he sent me to the countryside. Said it was for me to reflect on my actions. 3 years in the countryside, Vincent was shocked to see me with a limp leg. He admitted his mistake and was willing to take me back. I touched my stomach and told him to get lost. When Vincent found me, I was sneaking food with my half-limped leg. Hearing that a big shot was visiting the village today, I had the chance to sneak to the village head's house. From a distance, someone was calling my name. Linda, Linda? I ignored it and just kept eating, relishing the rare opportunity to have food. Only a fool would give it up. After filling my stomach, the hunger pains eased immediately. Even if I was full, I couldn't help but stuff more food into my mouth, bite after bite. Who would have thought that the smith's daughter, who used to be carefree and pampered, was now living like a beggar, struggling to survive? All of this is thanks to my fiancé and his secretary. Poor parents who always doted on me also believed those lies, sent me here for 3 years without looking back. Do they even know? It's remote here, many women are kidnapped and brought here, women have no dignity here, facing verbal abuse and physical violence every day. Suddenly, someone forcefully pulled me away, shaking me, dragging me. I instinctively lowered my head, trembling. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just too hungry. I'm sorry. The person seemed incredulous. Linda, what are you doing? I'm Vincent. Vincent. That sounded familiar. Was it not my fiancé? My mind was a bit numb. I raised my eyes and looked at the handsome man in front of me. Yes, it was Vincent, my former fiancé, the one who personally sent me here. Another culprit behind him couldn't stop gagging, covering her nose with her hand as she gagged. Vincent heard and quickly turned around to take her away. He affectionately kissed her, saying, "Gross, it's tough on you, don't dirty your skirt." Then he seemed to glance awkwardly at me, saying, "Let's go, you've suffered enough for 3 years, come with us. Go, leave this place." I used my hands, plagued with frostbite and cracks, to awkwardly wipe the traces around my mouth, hesitating to hide my scarred self. Even though I used to be a pearl in the sky, now I'm just mud on the ground. I remained silent, following them, stepping lightly away from this prison. Sitting in the car, Anna asked if I had been doing okay these years. I pretended to sleep with my eyes closed, not answering. I was thinking, why am I not happy to be going home? Probably because of hatred. I hate them, Vincent and Anna, sneaky and together, afraid of me finding out, first framing me for hurting someone. My parents believed them, sent me here to be scolded for 3 years. And Jason. My beloved, I can finally leave, but what about you? Seeing I didn't respond, Anna bit her lip. Linda, I just care about you, me. Vincent was protective of Anna. Seeing her upset, he grabbed my arm and pulled me up forcefully, almost making me fall. I instinctively protected my belly. Anna asked you a question. After living in the countryside for so long, have you forgotten everything? Do you think everyone still has to pamper you like 3 years ago, huh? He stared at my legs, full of inexplicable resentment and anger, seeming displeased with my weakness. I held my belly, wincing in pain, whispering, I heard, I'm fine. Vincent wanted to say more, but Anna stopped him. It's enough, Vic. Linda just got back. Even if she made a mistake, it's in the past, calm down. Vincent discreetly glanced at my covered belly, then hugged Anna, chatting with her all the way home. The atmosphere was sweet. And I couldn't stop looking at the back of their heads, wondering what would happen if they knew that the woman they brought back was full of hatred, ready to tear them apart. It wouldn't happen. I told myself, they won't find out. I'll lie in wait and strike when the time is right. It seemed like Vincent only just noticed my disheveled appearance. He looked a bit flustered at my leg. What happened to your leg? Huh? Are you talking to me? I smirked. Got hit, got broken, that's all. Vincent's jaw tightened. He coldly made a phone call for someone to take me to freshen up. The person who came to help had a hint of disdain and disgust in their eyes. He turned to me, his gaze inscrutable. Even though you've degraded yourself, at least show some respect to your aunt and uncle. I silently nodded, letting those people fiddle with me. As we neared home, I saw my parents standing at the door. The next moment, Anna warmly took my mom's hand and led her inside, my mom's smile never fading, not paying any attention to me standing nearby. "Mom, Dad, what are you doing here? Come in." My dad snorted and said, "What are you staring at? Come in," making a scene. At the dining table, I sat alone, watching Anna servilely serving my parents, making them smile and laugh. Although my parents used to spoil me and fulfill all my wishes, they were now caring for the person who framed me. Vincent was no different, affectionately serving Anna food and peeling shrimp for her. That look was clear to me, once only meant for me. Now, it was revolting to see. And the dishes on the table, supposedly to welcome me, not a single one was something I liked. They were all Anna's favorites. I snapped my fingers, the chopsticks fell with a snap. I needed to know what my parents' current attitude was toward me and toward Anna. I finally came back, and you don't even ask, my voice choked up. "Don't you want to know how I've been? Why are you so good to Anna?" My mom just kept serving Anna as if she didn't hear my words. It wasn't until Anna nudged her that she looked at me with a hint of sympathy, gracefully wiped her hands, her face gradually turning cold. "What are you saying? How could you possibly compare to Anna? Look at yourself now, you don't even look like a refined lady. Do you think I'm embarrassing you?" Anna timidly spoke up, "Mom, please don't be mad, my sister just got back, can you two get along?" I closed my eyes, "Am I embarrassing you? And Anna, what kind of mother is she?" After calming down, I asked again, "Why didn't you come find me after the earthquake? Why didn't you check if I was still alive?" The earthquake there was quite severe, even if they blocked my information, they couldn't have missed the news. It took them 2 years to come look for me. Suddenly a dense chill swept over me, I chuckled, I knew it. But then 2 slaps came down, with great force, knocking me to the ground. 1 slap from my dad, 1 from Vincent. My ears were ringing, it was hard to hear what they were saying. "Linda, are you going crazy as soon as you come back? It was just an earthquake. Besides, you weren't hurt, why are you being so ungrateful? 3 years, I thought you had learned humility and politeness in the countryside, turns out you didn't." My dad's disappointment was evident in his tone. I glanced at my mom, she tilted her head silently supporting my dad. They seemed to be indifferent to me. Suddenly I felt very cold all over. Do they really know what kind of life I've lived in the past? I asked a casual question, but why did it become an issue? If it weren't for Jason protecting me, I would have been dead. My mom patted Anna, then turned to me and said, "I thought once you came back, the past incidents of hurting Anna wouldn't count. But now you still refuse to repent, willingly associating with those men from the countryside, willingly associating." I looked up at Anna's sly eyes, knowing she was behind this. It seems Anna has been stirring up trouble in front of my parents for years. But didn't they send me to the countryside in the first place, claiming it was for reflection, without letting me take anything with me? Let alone that dreadful place, even in a normal village, what would a young girl without money or clothes endure? Don't they know? And it's been 3 years. I started laughing loudly, tears left a bitter taste in my heart. I went upstairs in embarrassment, the stiff family started talking. All I heard was my dad, my mom, and Vincent rushing to console Anna, telling her not to take my words to heart. That was my retribution. They all said, in their eyes, Anna was the first choice. But I remember clearly that I used to be the only choice. My room was in a corner on the 2nd floor. It was originally a storage room for the maids. Anna said she felt guilty for taking my room, so she personally cleaned it overnight, hoping I would forgive her. And everyone else acted as if I was always letting her down. For several days, I was locked in a small room. My mom said I hadn't suffered enough, and didn't allow anyone to bring me food. I was so hungry my head was spinning, and the scars on my body tortured me so much that I couldn't sleep, whimpering in pain. But the next moment, a cold sensation touched my forehead. I opened my eyes in a daze to see a woman with tears in her eyes. "Miss, good girl, Lily is applying ointment for you. Once it's done, it won't hurt anymore." Lily quickly and gently touched the medicine on my wounds, tears streaming down her face. She felt sorry for me, wondering how I had endured so much pain. Even Lily felt sorry looking at me. The master and the lady are really something. Yes, even though Vincent tried to hide the scars on my body, my neck, my hands, and the way I walked couldn't be hidden from those who cared about me. I smiled to comfort her. "It's all right, Lily, look, I'm back, and I still have all my limbs." Her lips moved a few more times, her eyes filled with unstoppable sadness. "Okay, Lily, please go now. Don't let anyone find you." Lily's kindness was genuine, but I couldn't accept it. It was harming her. But I didn't expect that. In the end, Lily was the one who got dragged down because of me. Early the next morning, Anna pushed the door open, a serene smile on her face. "Sister, come out. Uncle and Aunt have forgiven you." I ignored her, shook my weak limbs, and continued to turn my head to sleep. Anna's smile grew wider. "Oh, sister doesn't want to come out, too bad. Just sent away a maid who was stealing things, called Lily." Sister missed such an exciting scene. In an instant, my blood boiled. Lily had served the Smiths diligently for decades. She had a son with a heart condition to support. Labeling her as a thief, who would dare to employ her? This was pushing someone into a corner. "Anna, you are truly heartless." I was so angry that I tried to step forward and confront her, but after several days of not eating, even standing up was difficult for me. How could I be her match? I was pushed into a corner, my stomach hitting the sharp edge. It hurt so bad. I couldn't help but curl up in pain. But the next second, Anna fell to the ground. Vincent rushed over to help her, but accidentally hit me in the face. I was so weak that I fell to the ground. "Linda, you never repent, coming back just to hurt Anna. Why didn't you die outside?" He seemed very disappointed, a look of deep loss in his eyes when he glanced at me. Vincent used all his strength, hitting me so hard that my ears were ringing and it felt like blood was dripping from them, my stomach also aching. I tried to speak, but found my throat dry and voiceless. People from the third floor also heard the commotion and hurried over. "Oh, Anna. Are you okay?" Anna weakly leaned on my mom. "I'm fine, Mom. I just wanted to check on my sister. I didn't expect." My mom held Anna, looking at her with a touch of pity. "Are you hurt? Quick, get the driver to take her to the hospital." After watching Vincent carry Anna to the hospital, my mom turned her head to look fiercely at me. I was weak from the beating, still leaning awkwardly against the wall. She stared at my hand holding onto my stomach and the faint redness underneath. "Is it?" She stood there, looking at me from a distance, with a hint of disdain and relief, as if I were a stranger. She left with a parting remark before hurriedly going to check on Anna. "You can leave. I'll just pretend I don't have a daughter like you. Anna will be my only daughter from now on. She will be called Anna, and will inherit our family." I lay on the ground like mud, feeling the blood flow out from underneath me, truly feeling desolate. "My mom has always been elegant, even when she didn't want me," she said it lightly. "But I'm in so much pain now. Who will come and save me?" When I woke up again, I smelled the scent of disinfectant near my nose. I stared at the bright white ceiling, and as I regained some strength, my stiff fingers slowly touched my stomach. Ice-cold temperature. There should have been a small warm life here. But now it's gone. And I'm like a vegetable, unable to mourn for you silently. "Miss?" Someone called me from beside. It was Lily. I wanted to look at her closely, but my vision was cloudy. I wanted to hug Lily and cry. Drip, drip. It was Lily's tears falling on my hand, burning my fingers, causing them to involuntarily curl up. "Miss, my poor miss. Why doesn't anyone truly care for you?" "No, Lily, there's you. You're willing to be close to me." I smiled faintly at the blurred figure beside me. "It's okay, don't cry." I spent several days in the ICU of the hospital. The long-term malnutrition and miscarriage took a toll on me. But I won't let such a thing happen again. I will survive. I will live well and seek revenge on my enemies, Vincent and Linda, neither of you can escape. On the 15th day of hospitalization, no one came to visit me, but I wasn't disappointed. It was still Lily who came with the soup she cooked herself to visit me. She had a rare smile on her face, and I asked her what was going on. Lily was excited like a child. My son Brian's illness is treatable, he is going to have surgery soon, and he will be a healthy child. Is that so? That's really great news, congratulations, Lily. I smiled too, looking out the window at the greenery, full of life. Brian will be like this too, regaining life. Lily sighed, thank you so much to that gentleman. These days if it wasn't for him paying for our medical expenses, and hiring someone to take care of Brian, I don't know what I would have done. I didn't hear the rest of what she said, my thoughts wandering back to the secret Lily whispered in my ear when I was having my first surgery. She said, actually, Vivian, no, Anna. She is the real heiress. When Madam found out about this, she cried holding her own daughter, telling Sir that they must punish me, the imposter. But Father said, Anna and I were twins, Anna had a tough fate, but I was their true daughter, and should enjoy a wealthy life. I could already guess what happened next. My mom felt sorry for her younger daughter, gradually becoming biased, and resenting the daughter, who had been with her since childhood. But is that really the whole truth? I always feel like there might be more to it. Yet, as I looked at the joy on Lily's face next to me, well, whatever secrets there are, I'll find them out myself. The day before I was discharged from the hospital, I discovered an unexpected visitor outside my ward. Vincent. What are you doing here? The well-dressed man looked a bit flustered, glancing subtly at my stomach. I backed away, frowning, what are you doing here? He looked hurt as he spoke, Linda, don't be so cold to me, we grew up together, I feel like we grew up together. I was about to reply when I saw Anna in the distance, looking resentful. Then I widened my eyes at Vincent, tears brimming but my voice strong. Do you still recognize me as your fiancé, Vincent? Are you still willing to marry me? Vincent's lips trembled, but he couldn't bring himself to say that affirmative word. So as I cried in front of him, he looked even more guilty, wanting to come forward and hold me, but was pulled back by someone behind him. Vincent, so you're here. I've been looking for you. Anna's face serene, looking completely innocent, with no traces of the resentful woman from before. I watched them, weakly smiling at Vincent, then dragging my aching leg step by step back into the ward. Sister has left, let's go back too. Okay. The voice behind me gradually faded away, as I casually picked up the origami crane that Lily had casually placed on the hospital bed, the one Brian had folded. Let's go, let's go. Vincent had already started to feel sorry for me. His conversation with Anna just now seemed a bit perfunctory. This would be their thorn. Next, Anna would probably find a way to attract Vincent. It was a perfect time for me to investigate some things. As for Anna's retaliation, we'll see whose counterattack is more severe. I remembered back to my school days, where I would often see a woman in the distance quietly watching me, without any malicious intent, just simply observing. But now, looking back, I couldn't help but feel a slight resemblance between her features and mine. So, relying on my memory, I found that place, got a job at a coffee shop, hoping to catch someone off guard. Hard work pays off. One afternoon, I saw the woman again, calmly strolling down the street. My heart was about to jump out, was I about to meet her? Mother. Just as I was about to follow, I was stopped by someone. Sister. Is it really you? I've been looking for you everywhere, didn't expect to find you here. I shook off her hand, feeling unlucky. How did she manage to find me here of all places? I glanced regretfully out the window, it seemed today was not meant to be. Sorry, customers, it's working hours. If you have any coffee or dessert needs, please let us know. Beside Anna stood a stylish and charming woman, who looked down on me disdainfully, saying, Anna told me you're not doing well now, turns out it's true. Anna bit her lip and defended, Vivian, don't talk about my sister like that. Vivian rolled her eyes, gestured for her friends to sit down, and then giggled at me. You're an employee, making employees serve us can never be wrong, right? The manager quickly agreed, of course, Vivian. Then he roughly pushed me. Even though my crippled leg had improved a lot, there was still a hidden condition. In my panic, I almost stumbled. Laughter erupted from all around. Among the crowd, there was a man with a hat and mask who hadn't looked at me. I didn't have the energy to look at him either, but I felt a sense of familiarity. Oops, Miss Linda, what's wrong with your leg? Hurry, let me help you up. If Uncle and Aunt see this, they'll be heartbroken, won't they? The one speaking was a rich second generation, who loved me in vain. Ha ha ha, don't you know? The Smiths no longer acknowledge her. Now the Smiths' heiress is Anna. Vincent truly has a discerning eye, choosing Anna over Linda. You all better show up to support Anna at the wedding. My good sister remained silent throughout, letting me be humiliated in silence. The manager managed to protect me a bit and sent me to the kitchen to help. As I was leaving work, I was suddenly stopped by a group of delinquents at the street corner. Before I could say anything, a slightly bold figure in high heels suddenly rushed out, wielding a stick to drive the delinquents away. I stared at the woman with familiar features, suppressing my excitement. Offering a smile, I thanked her, then pretended to be shocked. The well-preserved woman looked at me with pity, sighed, and said, "Do you want to talk with me?" I nodded at her face that resembled mine more than before. "It really is you. My birth mother." But the woman's following words shattered my days of speculation. "As you can see, you are not Mike and Mary's daughter. I'm Lily, Mary's younger sister. You are my supposed biological daughter." Supposed? I frowned at her. Clearly, our features were so similar. How could it be supposed? Her tone gentle, she slowly revealed the secret she had kept buried in her heart. I remained silent, quietly looking at the evidence she handed me, until the moon hung above the branches. So that's it. It really was the case. No wonder 3 years ago Linda's mother could bear to send me away. No wonder I was shunned by the Smiths. I wasn't their biological daughter. What I thought were my biological parents were actually the enemy who killed my real parents, causing my family to be destroyed, leaving me an orphan in infancy. Lily then pretended I was her daughter, and handed me over to the Smiths for care. Reflecting carefully, the Smiths regarded me as the apple of their eye, but this was essentially stealing from my real parents. Looking at the expectations written by my biological parents, I felt the warmth of family that I had long missed. After a long pause, I softly said, "If it's really like this, I won't let them off." As for Vincent and Anna, old and new grievances combined. Everything they owe me, I will take back. Lily sighed, "Although you still have some connections at Mike's, he will soon expose Anna's identity to the public, making things harder for you." I shook my head, knowing that taking down the Smiths would not be easy, even with all the evidence Lily provided. I was dozing off when Anna brought me a pillow. "Little sister, you've just had an abortion, don't push yourself too hard. Even though Mom doesn't want you, I'll help you." I looked at the woman in front of me speechlessly, until the conversation around us started. I grinned, "All right, so how do you plan on helping me?" Anna's face fell when she mentioned the money Vincent gave me without my knowledge, and asked if I could give it to her now. I responded, "Who would give back what they have received?" And as for Vincent, even though he promised not to associate with this woman, where did the betrayal come from? Watching Anna nervously change her expression, I felt somewhat satisfied. But soon she regained her composure, flaunting a large ring on her hand. "Vincent and I are getting engaged next month. When Dad announces my identity as Miss Smith, you must come." Accepting the invitation, I smiled back at her. "Of course, I will definitely be there." Walking down the street, I received a call on my phone from Vincent. This time, I didn't refuse to pick up. "Vincent, are you really going to marry Anna?" I knew Vincent liked it when women showed affection. Vincent's tone turned urgent on the phone. I hung up without listening further and texted him that I would attend the engagement ceremony. I deliberately avoided being followed by Vincent and Anna afterwards. In the next few days, watching Anna question Vincent from a distance with a protective yet impatient look, I smiled to myself. The engagement ceremony of Anna and Vincent was held at the most luxurious hotel in a city. The place was filled with sweet photos of them. As soon as I entered, Vivian spotted me and greeted me warmly, making comments about me not getting over Anna forgiving me and attending their wedding. Ignoring the whispers around me, I made my way directly to the central dressing room. When I opened the door, my parents, or rather, the Smiths' parents, Vincent's parents, and Vincent and Anna were all sitting there. Seeing me at that moment, their expressions stiffened a bit. Anna quickly stepped forward. "Linda, you came." Dodging her hand, I took out a picture of Anna from her school days and placed it on the table. "Maybe you'll like this gift." The expressions on their faces were a mix of surprise. Vincent looked at me with a complex expression, filled with a hint of relief and guilt. Ignoring Linda's mother's protective stance, I smiled at Vincent's parents. "I am also family. Do you have any objections to me being at the main table?" Then I turned and left. The photo revealed Anna's dark secrets, ones that Lily didn't even reveal. At the main event of the engagement, Vincent and Anna arrived late. I observed Anna's teary eyes and Vincent's impatient and somewhat disgusted look, feeling a sense of ease. Anna must be going through a hard time. Feeling relaxed, I heard the surrounding people mentioning the new lord that Vincent's family had found. The gossip about Jack's tragic past caught my attention. Just as the person at the center of attention was leaving, I heard Jason's name and ran after him. It was Jason, the person I couldn't stop thinking about. When I caught up to him, I grabbed his sleeve and asked, "You're back, why didn't you come to see me?" With a dismissive tone, he turned to me with unfamiliar eyes and said, "Miss, boundaries should be respected. Please let go of me." I looked disbelievingly as he pulled my hand away. Before I could speak, Anna in the center of the hall finally found an outlet for her frustrations. "Sister, I know you love Vincent, but can't have him, but you don't have to be this way just because Jack, the young master, is back." I just greedily stared at the person in front of me. "No, I'm sure, this is Jason. Jason, who has guarded me for 999 days and nights. You say you're not him, prove it to me." Vincent helped me and got hurt many times. The biggest scar on his shoulder from saving me in the earthquake can't be removed no matter how advanced the technology. The man nonchalantly smiled, raised his hand and took off his shirt. "Well, did you see clearly? Am I the person you're looking for?" My head instantly went blank. I was shaking all over. How could this be possible? It's so similar. Jack casually put on his coat. "Are you Linda? If you wanted me, you should have said so earlier." I didn't hear the rest of his words. Hope suddenly appeared, but disappeared in an instant. I left in a messy state, and didn't see the man casting me a cryptic look as he got on the car. That night, I dreamed of Jason again. Jason, the village chief there, grew up eating meals from hundreds of families. Maybe he had some affection for this land, so even though he knew it was beyond saving, he still tried hard to make it better. Although Jason never went to school, he was sharp-witted, leading everyone to dodge many natural disasters and saving many people. He disappeared while rescuing someone in a small flood. Before he left that day, he said he would marry me when he returned. Unfortunately, I couldn't wait for him. After he disappeared, people from all around gathered to rebuild their homes. This place was already remote and desolate, but after that incident, it became even more isolated under the leadership of some determined individuals. The new village chief had a grudge against Jason, and coupled with the existing customs of women being abducted and beaten here, my days here were not pleasant. In just 3 months, I was worn down to become a different person. Even after being rescued, I couldn't escape the hell. Oh, Jason, if you saw me now, would you be heartbroken? I thought of Jack I saw during the day, and couldn't help but smile. Yeah, completely different people. How could I have mistaken him? Jason was brave, passionate, his skin not as fair as Jack's, but dark, handsome when he smiled, not the kind of worldly playboy like Jack. And if he really was Jason, he wouldn't let go of my hand. A text message came again on my phone, from Anna, Vincent, my parents. I simply turned off my phone. I looked up at the moon outside, hoping it would end soon. But I didn't expect Anna to be so brainless. Since the day Vincent got engaged, he had harbored a great disdain for her. He had told me more than once that he regretted it. Vincent said he still loved me, that I was always in his heart. I looked at the man's reddened eyes, silent for a moment before saying, "But Vincent, you said, those who betray true love will not end well. I'll be waiting for your retribution." I didn't care about his reaction, and interestingly sent the screenshots one by one to Anna. She went crazy with jealousy. She had my story posted online. From framing her 3 years ago, being sent to the countryside, getting pregnant out of wedlock there, then returning and trying to get Vincent, calling me a homewrecker, shameless mistress, the whole story was presented as if by a bystander. The answerer, claiming to be a close friend of several people involved, couldn't bear to see a friend's happy marriage ruined by this vicious woman. Anna did it so discreetly, completely playing the innocent. Vincent and Anna were about to get married soon. And I was also trending. My relationship with Anna was exposed, twins, except I grew up in luxury, while Anna was stolen and only returned later. Vincent's family immediately released a statement. Vincent was trying to help a single mother due to childhood friendship, but I misunderstood. Public opinion was mostly one-sided, and I received countless hateful messages every day. Countless hurtful words were thrown at me, my address revealed, and I was pelted with rotten eggs and vegetables every day. I let the rumors ferment. Keyboard warriors online were always the fearless, consequence-free justice warriors, and I awaited their retaliation once they found out they were being used. But I didn't expect that in less than 2 days, there would be no more posts insulting me online. It seemed as if that experience was just a dream. I couldn't figure out who was helping me. But Anna's wedding was coming soon, and no matter what, the truth would come to light. Just as I was about to send the videos as evidence to the police, a message from an old friend popped up on my phone. "Linda, I found out, the 2 previous public opinions were influenced by Vincent's family." Vincent's family. Now Vincent's family, along with my parents, considered me a thorn in their side. How could it be? A long-awaited suspicion rushed into my mind. I opened the chat box with trembling hands. It was still Jack's contact information that I added reluctantly that day. Staring at the blank chat screen, I typed a few words with shaking hands. "Why did you help me?" The person on the other side replied quickly, not trying to hide anything. "Just couldn't stand by and watch." I smiled. "Jason, even if you disguise yourself well, I know you too well. I know all your habits, including the punctuation you unconsciously use in chatting." Feeling a bit lighter in my heart, I let out a long breath. I didn't know why he didn't recognize me now, but I knew the day of recognition was not far away. Because Anna's wedding was about to start. Soon it was the day of the wedding of the 2. During the thank you speech, Anna walked towards me in a grand white wedding dress, like a triumphant princess. "Sister, thank you for letting me go, and Vincent, although I will take good care of Mom and Dad in the future, and you should protect yourself too." I couldn't help but feel guilty about how I had bullied her. As expected, the surrounding reporters whispered to each other, and some even eagerly approached with microphone in hand, trying to pass it to me with excitement. At this ceremony, many uninvited media came, just to be the first to report on the union of the 2 wealthy families. Of course, more attention was drawn to the scandal of me and Anna fighting over one man. Both families' stock prices had soared recently. I straightened my clothes, calmly took the microphone and said, "Don't need to be polite, Vincent is a man I don't want. After all, one is a mistress who climbed her way up, and the other once had an affair with his secretary behind his fiancé's back. I'm just trying not to let you deceive everyone and make a fool of them." Suddenly, on the screen behind the ceremony, videos from 3 years ago of Anna framing me and other unflattering incidents from her high school days were played. "Anna, please don't blame me." Anna's face turned pale. After finally getting both families and Vincent under control, I publicly exposed her. This wedding was doomed to fail. As for Mom and Dad, I took a deep breath. Since you have inherited the Smiths' fortune, and I am a person who has been ousted, I have no right to show off in front of both chairmen. I wish the two of them long-lasting happiness and never parting. This statement caused a commotion throughout the venue. Everyone was not fools. The Smiths' heiress had been missing for 3 years. When she returned, she lost her inheritance status and even her fiancé was stolen. Who wouldn't feel sorry for her? Moreover, with the recent gossip and rumors, wasn't it just a perfect setup? Anna's mother's eyes turned red with anger, wanting to come forward, but was stopped by Anna's father. Vincent called the bodyguards, but for some reason, they didn't step forward. You're talking nonsense, you vile woman. Anna was about to rush towards me in anger, but was held back by Vincent. Anna, you, a woman pregnant before marriage, how dare you talk to Linda like this? Vincent looked guilty, clenched his fists tighter and tighter. Linda, I'm sorry, it's my fault. After hearing this, Anna went completely crazy. She shouted that she would tear my face apart, but was stopped by Vincent. She looked at Vincent in disbelief, her face changing from red to white, and in a moment, she managed to control her anger. Sister, even if you resent me, even if it's unrequited love for Vincent, you can't treat me like this. Before she could finish speaking, Anna fainted on the ground. The scene inside the venue was chaotic. I shook my head in regret, realizing that I couldn't resolve things directly today. I took advantage of the chaos and left, without noticing that someone was quietly covering up for me. The union of the two wealthy families was already attracting attention. The evil attendants of the former Smith's heiress shifted the attention back onto Anna. Linda was pregnant before marriage, Linda was jealous of Anna, malicious competition causing harm, Linda disappeared for 3 years. These trending internet topics shifted the focus onto me, leaving these two families spotless. My previous scandal of getting pregnant before marriage, and then having a miscarriage drew even more vicious cyberbullying than before. Some even started sending me dolls with blood on them. Then came the bombshell. I'm not the biological daughter. Back then, me and Anna's lives were swapped, and I took what was rightfully hers. I watched, feeling quite pleased in my heart. That's how the wedding ceremony failed to resolve matters. Now the situation was at an all-time high, which would make it easier to solve. Vincent contacted me, wanting to calm things down by holding a press conference to admit that it was him being jealous that led to those words, all of which were lies. I replied, and what after I admit? Even if you clear your names, I'll still be seen as the bad one online. Finally, Vincent's parents stepped in, promising me a sum of money to clarify things, and send me abroad afterwards. They threatened me, saying that even if I wanted to leave everything behind, they would never let me go. But for some reason, Vincent's family, who should have been most eager to resolve things, suddenly dispelled their animosity towards me overnight, and even the calls from Vincent's family were no longer threatening. I had a faint guess in my heart, which felt sweet yet also delusional. I had to force myself to focus on dealing with my family matters, and I tapped on my phone screen, sending the message okay. The day of the press conference, I deliberately chose my most plain clothes and applied light makeup. Finally, everything was going to end today. Before going on stage, Anna stopped me. She warned me not to play any tricks, to be tough, or else she could make me disappear without a trace. I nodded and my recording pen in my pocket captured everything. Hello, everyone. Today I want to clarify something about the rumors between Miss Anna and Mr. Vincent. I can confirm that everything I've said is true. Furthermore, those photos of Anna during her school days are also true. I also have videos of those men she was involved with as concrete evidence. As I was about to continue, Anna tried to come forward to stop me, but couldn't push her way through. I smiled at them, looked at my parents hurrying in through the door, pressed a button I had prepared earlier, and pointed to the electronic whiteboard behind me. Now, please watch the VCR. In the video, it started with the affair between the two of them in the office 3 years ago, when Vincent and I were still engaged. Vincent, I'm afraid Linda will come back for revenge. Don't worry, you're the real heiress. She's just a fake. Let her hurt you like this, we must help you get back at her. Baby, be gentle, you're hurting me. Vincent knelt down weakly, his face pale, eyes red, and kept apologizing. Anna collapsed on the ground, muttering, "It's over, it's over. Get up, you're embarrassing yourself." Despite the remarks from my parents, I smiled faintly. Everyone's here, huh? Mike, are you enjoying spending my parents' money every night? Mike, with a twisted smile, looked at me confidently. Linda, you lost your child, your mind isn't right, what nonsense are you talking? I looked stern. What's true, what's false, let the police determine. The video continued playing, this time focusing on Mike and Kaina. Oh, it's the parents. Inside were the two of them plotting over 20 years ago to take over the White's fortune. White, the surname of my biological father. Unfortunately, their plan backfired and they, along with a wife, died in a car accident they orchestrated. The reporters around were shocked. They didn't expect Linda, the fake heiress, to stir up such explosive news every time she appeared. Last time it was about the two heirs merging, and this time, it was directly targeting the current chairman. The rest was out of my control. When Mike tried to speak again, the incoming police officers took him away. Don't worry, we have zero tolerance for those who cross the line. The leading police officer saluted me. I nodded, thank you. Due to the unprecedented popularity of the two previous trending topics, this event was considered a significant case by the police for urgent handling. With the information I had previously reported to them, the investigation results were quickly made public. 20 years ago, the two families were partners, but Mike's small business needed to align with the Whites for growth. Unfortunately, Mike, with evil intentions, schemed against the Whites, resulting in the couple's death in a car accident, leaving behind their infant daughter. Moreover, Anna and Vivian, both involved in intentional harm and other crimes, were also sentenced. As for Vincent, despite not doing anything wrong, he was implicated as an accessory to Anna's crimes, and would also spend some time behind bars. And if Vincent hadn't believed Anna's words 3 years ago, and sent me there, I wouldn't have endured so much suffering. Vincent's cellmates seemed capable, so I believe he'll have an exciting life inside. I heard Vincent had been resisting fiercely all along, trying to meet me through others. Although I didn't want to see his face, I enjoyed seeing Anna troubled, so I agreed and dressed up nicely. On the day I went, the sky was clear. Vincent kept smiling at me until I impatiently tapped the table, then he sighed. I'm sorry. It's okay. Since we're strangers now, I don't need to make things difficult for myself. But that seemingly innocuous remark seemed to touch a nerve, and Vincent suddenly burst into tears. He sobbed, I'm sorry, Linda. I truly liked you. We grew up together as childhood friends, and I really liked you back then. But, I couldn't help but be attracted to Anna, knowing she was the real heiress. I completely, unexpectedly didn't want you anymore. I had no choice. My mom's days as a mistress were hard, so I had to marry someone with background and power for my mom's sake. I'm sorry, Linda. I'm sorry. I interrupted his monologue with a yawn. Are you done talking? If not, I'll leave first. It's kind of gross listening to you. I leisurely pulled out a chair, turned around, and walked away, leaving the man behind crying with his head in his hands. I looked at the sky outside and felt it was another day for eating cake. The despicable deeds of a few people were exposed by gossiping netizens, including their various accusations and ill intentions towards me. In a blink of an eye, those few became public enemies. And I officially took over the business, renaming the company after my biological parents as White and changing my name to Linda White. At the same time, with Vincent's imprisonment, the heir became Jack. Jack, with an iron fist, first sidelined his father's power and became the indisputable leader of the Whites, and then drove the mistress to death, sending Jack's wife to a mental hospital for recuperation. At the board meeting held at Jack's house, I sat in the corner watching the most dazzling man in the center of the crowd. Then, to the astonishment of all, he walked towards me, extending his hand and smiling. "Miss, may I have this dance?" he asked. I smiled back, of course. As we moved to the music, I watched with interest the fair-skinned Jack in front of me. "Should I call you Jack? Or Jason? Either is fine." As expected, but I couldn't help blushing. Finally admitted, her. And then everything fell into place. Following the Linda Jack incident between the Smiths and Jack's family, lasting no more than a month, Jason and I announced our engagement. Instantly, conspiracy theories flooded the internet, and each time I opened the comments, I was amused by the wild imaginations of netizens. Just then, Jason came and hugged me. He too was smiling, a warm smile that I was familiar with. "Would you like to come meet my mom with me?" he asked. I smiled and pinched his cheek, just like I had done countless times over the 3 years. "Delighted," I said. After becoming the chairman of the Smiths Group, Mike married his girlfriend, Kaina. But he didn't love Kaina, he loved Kaina's sister, Lily. However, Lily had no say in Kaina's house, so he had to accept Kaina, who could benefit him. When Kaina gave birth to a daughter, Lily suddenly appeared and handed him a baby girl, claiming it was hers and begging him to take care of the child. Then, Lily left with those words. Mike, torn between joy and grief, pleased that he had a child with his beloved woman yet sorrowful knowing they could not be together. Later, Mike falsely claimed that the baby Lily brought was Kaina's, their only daughter, and promised to take care of them both. He had someone take Kaina's real daughter away, ensuring she would be well cared for. Mike and Lily's daughter would be the only heiress in his family. But was she really Lily's daughter? Lily's actual daughter had died prematurely due to lack of nutrition in the womb. The baby Lily brought was the daughter of the Whites. She despised her boyfriend and her own sister for what they did, and she'd let them raise an enemy's child. The day the truth came to light, Mike and Kaina's anguish would be no less than hers. To ensure Linda was not discovered as she grew up, she underwent surgery to resemble White's wife, Linda's biological mother. A little adjustment every now and then, and over time, those around her assumed she looked that way naturally. This was the only thing she could do for Linda. But Anna had appeared early, and Mike began to doubt Linda's identity. Even Kaina suspected she had given birth to twins and lost one, blaming Linda for taking away her daughter's prestige. So, they decided to leave Linda far away, not to disturb them. Had Anna really lived such a poor life before? After all, she was Mike's biological daughter, and Kaina secretly provided her with financial assistance. Thus, she grew up carefree, much like her biological mother Kaina. She bullied others in school, had multiple boyfriends, but acted innocent in front of Vincent. Unaware of her true heiress status, she cunningly took everything from Linda. In the end, she realized what was rightfully hers, but now Linda had to endure in that disgusting place for life, repenting. If it hadn't been for Jason, I may have stayed there for the rest of my life as they had hoped, tortured to an early death. But luckily, I met Jason. The Jason who had been abandoned by his scumbag father and stepmother. He had protected me steadfastly for 3 years, and though our life was not affluent, it was happy. Only a natural disaster separated us for 3 months. During those months, he regained his memory, tried to protect me, and sought revenge. It was really hard to endure. But we made it through. After Jack's family and the Whites had returned to normal, our baby also returned. I firmly believe that the baby I lost came back to us, because he couldn't bear to be without his parents. Under Jason's care, his future would be bright. The baby was entirely under Jason's care from the moment he was born. Jason even insisted on massaging my injured leg every day. After several surgeries, my damaged leg was almost indistinguishable from a normal one. Sometimes, Jason would tear up when he saw the scars on my leg, but I would just smile. The scars on my leg also connected me with Jason. In my second year there, the place was hit by an earthquake, not very severe, but unfortunately, I was trapped under the rubble. After what felt like an eternity, just when I thought I was going to die, Jason dug me out with his hands, saving me. I remember seeing Jason's face red from tears when he pulled me out. I told myself, he's the one. Eventually, my leg was left half limp, swaying as I walked. I asked him if he found me repulsive. Jason would carefully roll up my pants leg, gently apply ointment, and leave a tender kiss on it. With a bright smile, he would ask, repulsive? Why would I? Now you can just rely on me, and we can go out, making all those singles envious. And in the end, it was Jason, not Jack, who knelt down on one knee to propose to me. Will you marry me? He asked. I will. Two people who had endured so much found their belonging in each other. They were each other's redemption.